Okay, welcome back. Boy, I had a terrific day today. Hope you did too. A little kind of facetious there, but anyway, hope you did have a good day today. Gerald Celente is back with us tonight. Gerald is here once a month. He is a remarkable man, and every single thing he has forecast is playing out before your shocked and otherwise maybe not so shocked eyes. It is not looking good out there, and if you think it is, good luck to you. Welcome back, Gerald.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Jeff.
Sure, my pleasure. I don't even know where to start. It's crazy. There are people still talking about things getting better and the recovery and all this. It's mind-boggling how dumb the poor sheeple are, and they're getting dumber all the time. I'm not putting them down because in a way they're simply a captive in a very crude post-Orwellian world of abject mind control, and it's difficult, A, to wake somebody up when there's nothing to be awakened, and B, to find people who are still viable in terms of being able to look at the world as it really is and accept it as such, and to make proper contingency plans, pragmatic plans, logical plans to deal with it. They don't want it. They'd rather watch TV and pretend like everything's just fine. And that's, of course, a byproduct of the continual angst and stress and pressure that the whole game is designed to create upon people. And then it's backed up with TV as one of the most devastating drugs of all time, probably the most amazing agent of mass mind control and social programming the planet has ever seen. How's it looking to you, my friend?
Well, current events form future trends, as we say.
They do.
And let's look at a current event. Gold.
Mm-hmm.
As we speak, it's trading at $1,377.60 an ounce.
Headed to?
Well, we're saying 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there are others that are saying it could go much higher. And we don't doubt that, by the way. Our reservation, Jeff, is that once it starts hitting that number and beyond,
mm-hmm.
there's going to be some type of banker intervention
mm-hmm.
to stop it from happening.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, we're finishing up the Autumn Trends Journal that should be out at the end of next week. And as we're looking at this Trends Journal and closing it out, we're looking at comments coming from all those seers out there that, the Warren Buffetts and his right-hand henchman over there, Charlie Munger,
mm-hmm.
making fun of gold. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's henchman, the right-hand man, said
mm-hmm.
that even if it works, you're a jerk. Even if gold prices go up and you make money, you're a jerk. And he said, I don't have the slightest interest in gold. Oh, he doesn't have the slightest interest in gold. I guess I shouldn't either.
Yeah.
Oh, and how about Dr. Doom, Nouriel Roubini?
Yeah.
The major media's favorite kind of white shoe boy, pessimistic guy.
Yep.
He said that gold would be lucky to break 1,100. Oh,
mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. That's what he said. And you go down the list. Ben Bernanke, the brilliant Ben Bernanke, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the Princeton white shoe boy, quote, he said this past June, I don't fully understand movements in the gold price.
Oh, right, Ben. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, look for him to
George
get it.
Soros. No, George Soros, that lovable man, a money junkie supreme. He said, quote, back in January of this year,
uh-huh.
Gold is now the ultimate bubble.
I see. Not the thing between his two ears. Gold
right?
is the bubble.
That's it.
And
the Warren Buffett's quote, it gets dug out of the ground in Africa or someplace. Then we melt it down, dig another hole, bury it again, and pay people to stand around guarding it. It has no utility. Anyone watching from Mars would be scratching their head, as this money junkie only makes money by doing nothing.
Uh-huh.
By doing nothing.
Oh, yeah.
By doing nothing other than doing deals that make him so filthy rich that all of these people are so far removed from the rest of us working people that they make fun of people that buy gold. You're a jerk, says Charlie.
Was that a quote, by the way?
Yeah. No, here's the exact quote. I have it right. It's from the Trends Journal that will be out by the end of next week. I don't have the slightest interest in gold, quote. That was his quote. And even if it works, you're a jerk. Now here's from Nouriel Rabini. He even gets nastier. You know, the white shoe boys, they like to get nasty because they're so arrogant. You know, you're not a member of the club. What do you know? It's like that guy, that Obama rat that jumped ship. You know, that Diet Coke fiend. What was his name? Larry Summers. Yeah. You couldn't say the chief economic advisor, Larry Summers' name, without putting brilliant somewhere in when you had to
That's
speak
true.
his name.
Well, the press just absolutely lavished praise on this cretin.
You know, it was the brilliant Larry Summers.
Yeah.
And the brilliant Larry Summers, this guy that drinks Diet Coke and looks like a slob, that's the guy that we're supposed to think is so brilliant. He jumped ship along with Roma and Erzak.
Yeah, the rats, but there'll be more rats to take their place, of course. The issue with Diet Coke is not something that can be overlooked for a moment. It needs to be looked at because aspartame is a proven carcinogenic neurotoxin that breaks down into formaldehyde, methyl alcohol, formic acid, and other things that are known to cause brain cancer, called diketopiperazine, DKP. These are the breakdown products from aspartame. Every single time you drink it, it breaks down within 20 minutes into your system. That's what you're eating, folks. Methyl alcohol, which will make you go blind. Formaldehyde, which is a terrible toxin. Formic acid, which is ant venom. All right? DKP, which is a known brain tumor agent. So Glenn Beck is going blind. A lot of people would say, well, so what? Well, the bottom line is the guy drinks apparently a couple dozen Diet Cokes a day. And these people are poisoning themselves with aspartame. So I've harped on this for 17 years, but it's true. And they are not mentally competent when they are being poisoned by neurotoxins. Now, these guys probably aren't mentally competent to begin with, but let's double down on them. They're poisoning themselves. So please go ahead. But that's bad news.
Well, yeah, and you know, I remember in my past careers, I used to be a government affairs specialist for the chemical industry. Oh. Back in the 70s.
Well,
yeah.
And
that's how, you know, I learned a lot of what I know. I was on the other side, looking out and in. And but I remember when aspartame first hit the market in the 70s. Yeah. And you know what, Jeff? They were saying it then. And it wasn't even, when it first came out, it wasn't the advanced thinkers or the counterculture that was saying it.
Correct.
It was just a fact that came out.
Yeah, the scientists who were actually doing the honest evaluation of it said this thing should not be approved. But Donald Rumsfeld was plugged into the equation and paid off the right people, and the FDA played the trained seal and did its thing and approved it. And ever since then, people have been suffering and dying.
By the way, could he have been? I think he was the CEO of that.
He's been around. It was one of those companies, but he was.
Here's what Rabini said about gold, and this was when he said it wouldn't break 1100. And what he was making fun of, he said, if you truly fear a global economic meltdown, you should stock up on guns, canned food, and other commodities that you can actually use in your log cabin.
Well, you talk about arrogance, folks, and it's all over the map. What is also all over the map is a lack of accountability for all of these forecasts, prophecies, and predictions that never come true. Millions of them. None of them come true, and nobody remembers because they're too busy obsessing about the next dire forecast, or wrong forecast, or misinformation, or disinformation from these lunatics. All right, hang on. Be right back with Gerald Celente in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. We're talking with Gerald Celente, as we do the second Thursday of each month. Okay, what really bothers me, and this is not restricted to the financial business, of course, but the number of people on the internet who make predictions and forecasts is growing exponentially. None of them are ever right. I've never seen a big hit yet, and there's no accountability. What you've been running down this litany of people and their so-called forecasts. Again, nobody holds them accountable. They just wait for the next one, and then it's like they're just dumb fish. They keep biting on an empty hook. I don't know. Weird.
Well, it's not even the Internet. Let's go back to the beginning of this summer, and we heard the Vice President of Propaganda, Joe Biden, announced that we were going to go into the summer of recovery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and then once again, in understanding that current events form future trends, hey, did you see today's new unemployment figures? Oh, they were worse than expected.
Gosh, gee, shocking.
Son of a gun. Worse than expected by whom? Oh, and those trade deficits, they were higher than expected. Along with those inflation numbers, were higher than expected.
The employment stats are worse than expected every time, aren't they?
Yes. It's going to take, at best, even just to break even, Jeff, at the rate they're going now, about a decade, just to get back to where we were when all this began. We're going into the greatest depression. You know, I mentioned this on your show last month. And this was the grasshopper and ant summer. And the grasshoppers are still jumping around. You know, again, we heard Warren Buffett a couple of weeks ago saying there would be no double-dip recession. And they're still talking as though there's going to be some kind of recovery. And then you have the Paul Krugmans and the other writers for that paper of record, the New York Times, which I affectionately call the toilet paper of record, considering they call what I do pessimism porn. They want more stimulus. Rabini, they want more stimulus. Soros, they want more stimulus. They want more junk. They want more money heroin. They want to keep the casinos going, the gambling game in line, so that they can rip off all the people that step in. The game is rigged. Look at what's going on with this foreclosure